sir? Can I become those special companions of Imam? Or in other words, we have a hadith, Salman minna Ahl al-Bayt. Salman is one of Ahl al-Bayt, is part of Ahl al-Bayt. Is this status only for Salman, or is it for all of us? Majority of our scholars have said that being Salman is not just for Salman, but rather Salman is for all of us. For example, we have the likes of Abu Hamza Thumali, the beautiful dua that we have. We have a tradition saying that Abu Hamza Thumali is Salman of his time. And Salman is someone who has reached the level 10th of Iman. Now level 1, 2, 3, up to level 10. God knows what realities they know. God knows. And now we are to the point that let's analyze some of the traditions of Imam Mohammadi Baqir, where he taught Jabir ibn Yazid Ju'fi. So there are two categories. As I said, the ahadith which are only known by these special companions. No one knows. Because Imam said what? Imam said, "Oh Jabir, if you share this ahadith with anyone, Allah's curse, Prophet's curse, angels' curse, and the people's curse be upon you." So that's that set of ahadith we don't have access to. And now we have other set or other category of ahadith that the Imams have shared it with Jabir ibn Yazid Ju'fi, and then he has shared it with us. Let's analyze those traditions and try our best to apply these teachings of Islam within our life for the sake of Allah. So we reach to the level of what? The Ashab al-Sir. And then even the special companions, they had levels between them. There's a hadith I have heard from the scholars, reliable scholars, that if Abu Dhar knew what was in the heart of Salman, he would have killed him. Why? Level 10th of Iman, level 9th of Iman. The difference. Now, let's analyze one of the beautiful traditions of Mohammadi Baqir, who taught Jabir ibn Yazid Ju'fi. Please say salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Wa ali Muhammad. And it's not something new, my brothers and sisters. Even in Holy Quran, we see the beautiful ayah, فَمَنْ تَبِعَنِي فَإِنَّهُ مِنِّي. Prophet Ibrahim, he said, anyone who follows me, who follows my teachings, فَإِنَّهُ مِنِّي. He's from me. So we can become part of Ahlul Bayt. We can become one of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. Al-Bata, according to our own capacity. We can get to the level. It's not just for Salman. So one of the beautiful traditions that I will analyze tonight, inshallah, is one of the traditions where Imam explains, please salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. Where Imam tells Jabir ibn Yazid Ju'fi, where he says, اغتنم من أهل زمانك خمسة. Take advantage of 5 things in your time. And then let me give a small introductory point here. That the first point here is that fundamentally in Islam, fame is not recommended. Fame, shuhrat. A true believer is not after seeking fame. He never goes around and seeks fame. Why? Because there is a lot of downfalls with fame. And then look at Imam, what he says. Imam mentions 5 things. He says, in hadarta lahum tu'raf. Imam says what? Jabir, if you're in a place, do not become known. Jabir, if you're in a place, do not become known. So no one knows you. And then Imam goes a bit further. He says, وَإِنْ غِبْتَ لَمْ تُقْتَدْ قَدْ. And then Imam says, if you're absent, no one should look after you. So the first stage was what? That if you're in a place, no one should know you. Secondly, Imam says, if you're present somewhere, if you're not present somewhere, if you're absent somewhere, no one should look for you. Where are you? And then Imam goes further. وَإِن شَهِدْتَ لَمْ تُشَاوَرْ. And if you're present and you're well known by the people, so what happens next? You should not be consulted. And then Imam goes further, وَإِن قُلْتَ لَمْ يُقْبَلْ قَوْلُكَ. And then, even if you're consulted, if you're someone that people comes and talk to you and ask for advice, your opinion should not be a great deal. And now the question is, why is Imam saying that? Why is Imam telling us, for a believer, it's not good to be known, good to be noticed, good to be mentioned, good to be admired? Why is that, O Imam? The key message that I see here, and within other traditions, is that being unknown should be valued within us, within our life. If you're not famous, if you're not recognized, consider this as a blessing and a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then scholars have said this, we have two types of fame. One fame is wanted fame. Another fame is unwanted fame. Fame is shuhrat. Unwanted fame, let's talk about wanted fame. Wanted fame is when someone is actively seeking to be seen, to be recognized, to be respected, to be admired. And then he gives a lot of value to other people's view. He does all sorts of negative actions to get someone's comments, to get someone's like, to get someone's attention. This is what? This is wanted fame. One type of fame is wanted fame. God forbid a sister doesn't do proper hijab, does unethical dress, wears unethical dress to seek attention. This is wanted fame. This is something mazmoom. This is something bad. The Ahlul Bayt have said this. This is what Imam is trying to say. To Jabir, Jabir, be careful. With fame, there's downfall. And then we have unwanted fame. What is unwanted fame? You're not after fame. You don't care about what people say, what people talk, how much attention you're getting from people. But rather, because you're following your responsibility, because of that, what happens? Unintentionally, you become known within the people. People notice you. People talk about you. So we have two types of fame now. Wanted fame, unwanted fame. Ahlul Bayt said what? That wanted fame is something bad for a believer. I'll talk about some of the traditions. Even our scholars, they were after none of these names or titles or any of these. I'll talk about the downfall, the dangers of fame. For example, Ayatollah Bahjat Rizwanullah Ta'ala alayhi. For ages, no one knew who he was until he reached a point that he had to do certain social work, and then people started going towards him. I've heard from scholars when he used to do long prostration, sajda, after prostration he used to rub his forehead a lot. Why? So none of the signs remain on the forehead. Now in saying that, if someone has a sign, doesn't mean they have done, God forbid, show off. Now, skin to skin differs. So this was one of his ways. And then Ayatollah Bahjat has to come and pray. And during prayer, it wasn't in his hands. He had to cry. This is unwanted fame. Or for example, we see the story of Ayatollah Jawad Maliki Tabrizi, Rizwanullah Ta'ala alayhi, one of great scholars. He said, I was a student of Mullah Quli Hussain Hamadani, another great Arif. I was his student for 2 years. And then he was talking about status and fame. At the end of the lecture, I spoke to my teacher, Mullah Quli Hussain Hamadani. I said, Ustad, I don't think I have this problem of fame and status within me. And then my teacher just smiled at me, didn't say anything. And then I was after, how can I find out if I'm after fame or not? Because my Ustad smiled, he didn't say anything. And then I contemplated during my life, during my days, some of my relatives came to Najaf to visit me. And each time when they visited me, I used to tell them I am a student of Mullah Qulen Hussain Hamadani. I used to bring up his name all the time. And then I realized how much love I have for status, for fame. That I keeps telling my relatives that I'm his student. Mullah Qulen Hussain Hamadani in Najaf, I'm his student. And then he said, I realized that I'm so back, I'm so behind. I have to do more. So unwanted fame is something that should be blamed. But there are times that you have to perform your responsibility. For example, Agha Ahmad Riza, he has to come and talk and invite other brothers. For example, Qari, they have to come and recite. This is unwanted fame. But in saying that, with unwanted fame, it does not mean it doesn't have downfall. It doesn't have afat. Even with unwanted fame, there's afat. And then we have to be careful about that. Because we have within the sayings of our Imams, and even Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad, where he says what? That he mentions a person's intellect is not complete until he has 10 qualities. And then one of the qualities is what? وَالْغُمُولُ أَشْهَى إِلَيْهِ مِنَ الشُّهْرَةِ. He prefers to be unknown over fame. If someone is still seeking fame, to be known, to be noticed, to be mentioned, to be admired, that means what? That his intellect, his aql is still incomplete, according to the tradition of Prophet Muhammad. Peace and blessings be upon him. Seventhly, my seventh point, I'm going point by point, brothers and sisters. Seventhly, why is it harmful? Why is it bad to be noticed? Why is it bad to be seeking attention? Because Imam told Jabir that if God has made you unknown and you're not in the limelight, value this state. Be happy. Why is that? What are the dangers of fame? Let's talk about some of the dangers of fame. Please, sallallahu Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil. You know the first danger of fame? We become role models. People start following you. Teachers, scholars, football players, musicians, Qari, Noha Khan, all of them. Once you become the spotlight, once everyone start noticing you, talking about you, what happens? You become role models. And once you become role models, what happens? People start following you. A lot of my brothers, respected fathers, they ask me, how can I change a youth? My children, he's just in his teenage or younger. How can I change him? I usually tell him, change the role model of your child. He will automatically change. Until the time his role model is all these footballers, musicians, so and so, he will never change. Make a good role model for him, he will automatically push towards that role model. That's why I can see the youth, what type of hairstyle he's having, what type of dress he's wearing. From there, I kind of guess who is his role model. We have been there, especially at the time when we used to play soccer. Whatever Ronaldo used to do, we used to imitate him. Why? Because we chose him as my role model, and then we used to follow him. The first negative thing about fame is what? That we become unintentionally role models. And then what happens? There's a beautiful hadith of Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, where he says, Man sanna sunnatan hasana falahu ajruha. That whoever establishes a good action, there's a reward for him. And then وَأَجْرُ مَنْ عَمِلَ بِهَا إِلَى يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ. And the reward of those who follow it until the day of Qiyamah. So do not think that if I'm a role model, if I've done something in society and people have followed me, and I don't care what happens after me. The holy tradition says what? If they follow you, they do get something negative. but you get something in negative even though you're normal. Even though the time hasn't come yet. And then the tradition says what? وَمَنْ سَنَّ سُنَّةً سَيِّئَةً كَانَ عَلَيْهِ وِزْرُهَا. Likewise, if someone establishes an evil practice, what will happen? The burden of that evil practice will be on him. وَوِزْرُ مَنْ عَمِلَ بِهَا يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ. And the people who follow him in that negative practice, he will get the burden. He will get the sin. So this is the first negative thing. But the positive thing is also there. If you're a role model and if you're doing something good, if people follow you, alhamdulillah, you'll get the reward until the day of judgment. But we have to be very careful, brothers and sisters. I shouldn't be after these fame. If unintentionally I become one, oh, Bismillah. Politicians, scholars, non-scholars, anyone. So this is the first negative point. The second negative point, which is probably one of the most important one, ghafla. Negligence from the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why is that? I have experienced it myself, my brothers and sisters. As soon as I become role model, what happens? I gain 4 million, 5 million, less, few thousand followers. Their attention is on me, my attention is on them. This is afat. This is the worst downfall a person can get into. My attention is on them, their attention is on me. I start wondering, how can I prevent my followers from decreasing? How can I stay relevant? What should I do to stay relevant? And then you see the extreme, a sister who's with beautiful hijab, we see with no hijab at the end of the day. Why? This is bad fame, seeking people's attention. And within Irfan that we study, one of the important pillars of spiritual wayfaring is called uzlat. Is it called what? That seclusion from people. It's important. It's one of the pillars. It's one of the most important pillars. What is seclusion? Uzlat is considered one of the fundamental pillars of spiritual wayfaring. And awliyaullah have emphasized for such uzlat that I need to stay away from what? From the people who always sin. This is the first station, because it has levels. I have no choice but to stay away from the people who have been committing sins. Why is that? Firstly, usually we blend in within the society. That's one. Most importantly, we neglect this point that takwinan, they have effect on us. Sometimes some parents tell me, my children this and that. I'm like, you have to be so careful about where he goes, which school he attends. Why? Because right now, if someone's nafs is pure, if he pays salam to us, automatically affects our nafs. If someone's a sinful person, if I hang around with him all the time, his nafs has effect on my nafs. The way food has effect on us, likewise each and every one of our souls have effect on each other. So we have to be very careful for ourselves, for our children. Because the aim is what? That I become minna ahlal bayt. And my aim for my children is what? Minna ahlal bayt. Unfortunately, some of the parents, because their hadaf, their goal for their children is not for them to become Salman. This is unfortunate, and we have to come towards this. So seclusion is one of the pillars of spiritual wayfaring. Please, sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Muhammad wa ajil farajum. Let me see the time. I think we don't have time. We might talk about this tomorrow night because it's a topic in itself and it's a beautiful thing, uzlat. And if I start, I don't think I can manage to finish it. And we have 1 minute for the adhan. Please, sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. O Allah, for the sake of month of Ramadan, please hasten the reappearance of Imam of our time and make us his purest followers and servants. O Allah, please, for the sake of this holy month, solve all of the problems of believers. O Allah, for the sake of Ahlul Bayt, please grant health and well-being to all of the believers and to my parents. Please, salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر ولله الحمد. الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن عليا ولي الله. أشهد أن عليا حجة الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. حي على خير العمل. حي على خير العمل. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله وسلم.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن أمير المؤمنين عليا ولي الله أشهد أن أمير المؤمنين عليا حجة الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه إنه كان غفارا الله أكبر بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر الله أكبر سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده الله أكبر أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه الله أكبر سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده الله أكبر بحول الله وقوته يقوم ويقعد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد كذلك الله ربنا الله أكبر اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم اللهم كل وليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا صل على محمد وآل محمد الله أكبر سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده الله أكبر أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه الله أكبر سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده الله أكبر الحمد لله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وتقبل شفاعته وارفع درجته بحول الله وقوته يقوم ويقعد سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله الله سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وارزقنا بهم العافية ودوام العافية وتمام العافية، عافية الدين والدنيا والآخرة. صل على محمد وعترته الطاهرة. الله أكبر. الحمد لله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر.